Ooh, and we're on. Welcome to the Writer's Life, the place where you get the sight, sound, smells, taste of my particular writer's life, where you get the truth of the writer's life. My truth, anyway, for what it's worth. You get my little bubble. You get Vince World, which both my ex-wives are still running from. No, actually, they're not. They're pretty cool. Both of them are very cool. They've been very good to me recently, and both of them in their own ways. I'm lucky like that. Oh, geez. And they also helped me make very good children, and for that I will be forever grateful. It's just that who the fuck could live with me? Could you? Probably not. It's challenging to say the best. It's challenging. It's challenging at best, is what I'm trying to say, and just damn near impossible at worst. All us writers are similar like that, especially the career writers. You know, when you're doing this for a living and stuff, because it's just like, oh, your time and effort. Not only because you love it so much, but just because you're always thinking about stuff, and you're always like, if you're not at your typewriter, you're still working on your story because you know where it's going isn't quite right. So what am I doing wrong? And or whatever. Even though you try not to think about it, you try just to let the natural process play itself out on the page while you're writing it. That's what, like, Dean Wesley Smith and my uncle Harvey Stanborough calls writing into the dark, writing in the dark, or writing into the dark. I call it writing into the light, because even though I get the metaphor, you're writing, it's darkness. It's just, you have no idea where you're going. You just close your eyes, and you trust the car to go where it's supposed to go. I call it writing into the light, because to me it's almost like, go to the light, Vin. Go to the light. It's where heaven is. It's where paradise is. It's where you'll find the final solution. That doesn't sound right, though, does it? The final solution. It's where you'll find nirvana. How's that? Not like the band, although one of them is there right now by his own doing. What a dummy, Kurt Cobain. Oh, don't even get me going on Kurt Cobain. Loved their music at the time. I do not think it has stood the test of time, although I'm going to get lambasted for that. Certain songs have, but it was great for the time, and it was it was real rock and roll, and I was still young when they came out, so I enjoyed it. I loved it, in fact. But anyway, be that as it may, I just woke up from a nap. Not even a nap. It was like I was out. So now that I am halfway done with something very important in my life, and in fact only about 10 weeks away from being done for good, I thought I would fess up on something. That's right, I've been keeping a secret from you guys for quite a while now. For almost 9 months, to be perfectly honest. Now, I suspect some of you guys know this just by guessing, just by seeing me, by hearing me, by knowing that I haven't been coming to you every day like I used to and stuff like that. And at one point, I looked like gaunt Vince because I had lost 25 pounds inexplicably. My teeth are taking a beating. When I was in Italy, especially, I was just like dropping weight like crazy, and I was eating like crazy because it was Italy, right? So here's the real story, real quick. I came back from Italy. I went to my doctor, and she took one look at me, and she said, "You're sick." I'm like, "What do you mean I'm sick? I feel fine. Nothing wrong with me." She's not, no, she's like, you're like sick, like one of those sicknesses. So we we got a few other doctors involved. I got CAT scanned and all that crap. And it turned out in the end, after, remember I was like, oh, I've got like all these yo, who's there? Hey Daniel. I've got, I was doing all these biopsies. I was in the hospital doing test after test after test. I didn't even fish this summer. That's how busy it was, because between having to make appointments and writing, like I had no time to do anything else. I didn't so much as take a fucking road trip this summer. I didn't have time. And so anyway, and also I needed to concentrate on this to get rid of, figure out a plan to get rid of it. So anyway, he's like, you have lymphoma. And it turned out to be like, what is it? Slow growth lymphoma. I've probably had it for 10 years. And I'm non-symptomatic. That's a part of my problem. There were no symptoms. So why would I, there were no symptoms until I had that drastic weight loss and I had the lung issue, which is called pleural effusion. And that was what I had the surgery for recently. So, yes, it's the big C. Yes. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, you got to be kidding me. It's one of those like, this will never happen to me. It happens to other people, right? But, and I don't mean any disrespect to anybody else who has this disease, because millions upon millions of people do. But to me, it's like cancer light. It's easy, I'm not going to die from it. I can. It just has to. I'm never going to get rid of it. On the other hand, either. There's no cure for it. But I can live. I can live to be 100 with it. Every year, or probably within 10 years, I probably will have a cure for it or something. I have a sneaking suspicion though that like Pfizer and all them don't want it to be cured. That's for another show. That's for when Joe Rogan has me on his show. Oh, you didn't know that I'll be appearing on Rogan? That's a lie. That's fake news. I wish. It'd be cool. You get a phone call. Yes, I represent Mr. Rogan's podcast, and he'd love to have you on the show. He finds you interesting. He reads all your books. You'd be like, oh my God, when do I leave? So I'm coming clean with it now. So now that I'm like over halfway through, and I have 3 more treatments, and then I'm done. Within 2 weeks, I immediately hop a flight to Italy, and I'll be gone for a couple months. And then I have travel plans for this September. Wait till you hear where I'm going then. And then back to Italy. And I'll be doing checkups in between all this stuff. So anyway, I feel like I'm actually in remission now. I feel great. I've put on almost all my weight. I've put almost all my weight back on. My lung, as you know, is fixed. I see the thoracic surgeon on Monday just for one more x-ray. And then I have to go to the dentist because I've taken well to the treatment. The antibiotic and the chemo, I've taken very well to it. It doesn't make me sick. Not even when like the steroids wear off and all that. I just have one day a week where I'm like one day in the week after treatment, which is once a month, where I'm like a little irritable. And I warn people, I'm like, don't be around me when that day comes. Just don't be around me, because I'll probably say something stupid, more stupid than normal. So anyway, I didn't want to tell anybody. I didn't want to tell my fans. I didn't want to tell my friends out there, my colleagues, because I did not want to be that guy who's like sending selfies from the hospital, like, oh, it was me, look at me. I'm not knocking anybody who does that, because for some people that's very therapeutic and it works for them. Instead, what I did was I wrote a standalone novel. Yeah, I've been writing like crazy since this started, right? I wrote a standalone novel, The Bones, and I incorporated the disease into that. I wrote a moonlight. I don't want to give anything away where it comes up. And I wrote yet another one where it comes up. So just in those 3 books, I kind of like got it out of my system, emotionally and mentally or whatever. So that was as good as a psychiatrist. That was my version of a selfie from the hospital. Now that's not to say I haven't sent like my most trusted friends or whomever like photos from the hospital because they know exactly what's going on, or I haven't spoken with them on the phone about it or whatever. I've had guests on the show who know, and I've said don't say anything about it, but I was upfront with them about it. And I have to say, every one of them was like, "Yeah, you'll beat this. Don't worry about it." And I am. No choice. No choice. What helps a lot is exercise. For instance, after I got my surgery, they're like, "Oh, don't do anything for like 6 weeks." The next day, I was out there running 2 miles, or not running 2 miles. I was walking, slowly walking 2 miles. Then I built up to like doing intervals, and now I'm doing my normal run, doing my normal lift. So I'm back to cross training full time. I eat like a pig. I don't know. There's something about surgery and lymphoma, I think, that just makes you more hungry. I don't know what it is. I think your body is healing, so it just needs those calories. Mark my word, by the time I'm done with treatment in 10 weeks, I will be in better shape than before the whole thing started. Mark my word. But anyway, I'm 60 years old, and this is what I got hit with. And I honestly think it's one of the best things that's ever happened in my life. I really do. My attitude is completely changed. My mindset is completely changed. Worries about like money and stuff like that. Not that I have to worry that much about it, but you still do, out the window. Completely out the window. I took taking my writing more seriously, but having much more fun at the same time with it. Does that make sense? Just everything changed. Everything changed. Like I said, my ex-wives have been great. My kids have been awesome. They've been spectacular. Just to be there for me, just to have somebody to bounce stuff off of, and and just joke with and stuff like this, because we joke about it. We do say stupid jokes. For instance, like I'll take a bite of something and like I'll say to one of my sons, "You want this?" And they'll be like, "Well, you have cancer." No. All right. Stop smiling. So anyway, I'll give you at the end of this, I'll give you this update. Here's the problem. I'm currently supposed to have 2 teeth implants. They can't be done until 6 months after chemo. So I got to go around like a bum till probably this time next year. Well, less than that. I don't know what's 6 months plus February, second week of February, 6 months after that. So we'll see. Unless my oral surgeon lets me go in a little bit earlier. We'll have to see. He'll have to check me out. But what I didn't want to do all the selfies. I didn't want to do the woes me. I didn't want to do you can go to the GoFundMe account. I didn't want to start shilling Kickstarters every day. I didn't want to do any of that. I just wanted to be normal with you guys. And so, but now now the world knows completely, and I'm at the end of it. And I would only be telling you this now if I wasn't recovering rapidly. And if I didn't have a message for you, that is, it's not as bad as you think. It's really not. If you happen to get it, and something like 50% of everybody's getting it, some form of it these days. That's how bad it is. Just know that number one, you can come to me. You can always email me, and I'll give you whatever advice I can. And that it's not nearly as bad as they make it out to be. Things have changed a lot in the past 30 years. There's all sorts of drugs they mix into your cocktail. That there's no more puking or any of that stuff. That's for like, you know, fiction, like I write. All right, that's all I got. Thought I'd bring you that news today because I think it was time, and I will talk to you guys hopefully on Friday. Wait, tomorrow's Friday. Today's Thursday. Oh my God! See, it's treatment week. I don't even know what freaking day it is. I'll come to you either tomorrow or during the weekend. All right? How's that sound? All right, everybody. Ciao, ciao.